All right, everyone, welcome back. Going back into Nightmare Zone. Going to be our first nighttime themed episode. Let me get through some shout outs, however. Shout out to Tristan Garnick. Shout out to, looks like a crazy Asian name that I'm going to brutalize. It looks like Hestu Nugroho. Kyler wants a shout out. Call me Kyler. Vault 93 Overseer. Give a shout out to him, and I could have swore. I could have swore. Oh yeah, there it is. Ward Style. I knew I had him. Shout out to Ward Style. Yeah, I try to do shout outs during the loading screens, and sometimes I'll talk a little bit about ahead of time what we're going to be doing. So this is going to be primarily a nighttime episode. And nighttime's pretty dangerous in Nightmare Zone, especially for a brand new community. I would say the main thing that makes it dangerous right now is that we have a really, really, really poor condition vehicle. Like, the vehicle is in bad condition. And that's not good.
Our first priority has to be gathering materials. We'll need them to improve this place.
Can you go check out a new area, please? See? I can say please.
Okay, so the first thing I want to do is, if you're worried about nighttime, the first night, you could definitely just stay indoors. Like, we've got 10 food. You could wait if you wanted to. If you do want to wait until daytime, I recommend just running to improve your cardio. But what we're going to do is we're just going to play it safe and loot some of the really close nearby areas. That will be our objective. So let's, first though, I didn't take a look at what our characters have for their abilities. So we have a sheriff, and yep, no negative traits there. Also a sheriff, that sucks. We're hoping for a little bit of versatility, also no negative traits. And, good, a trader. So we have, we're missing one of the really good ones. We're missing the builder, because then we can make the sniper tower. That would be a lot better. It would be nice if we had one trader and one builder. But that means I'm kind of encouraged to play as Tiffany Fallon, because we're going to be promoting her to a leader position without a doubt. Now, what I meant about that earlier, that it's okay to kind of dilly-dally a bit, is if we go to our base and we look at our daily losses, we're losing 4.5 food per day, and that's it. So, I mean, if we did absolutely nothing, we would be fine for 2 days before we would start having food problems. So, you don't have to worry too much about having a really bad issue with food. Go ahead and take these crappy painkillers, just to get a little bit of health back. We are going to use these energy drinks in the event we need to run away.
I have the solution for our needs. Recruit more people.
Okay, so they want us to go loot some areas. I'm going to loot these basic areas nearby. We can see what resources we can expect to get by looking at them. Like, we're probably going to get fuel from this, medicine from that, food from that, material. So there's actually a lot of pretty good stuff just nearby. And the reason I want to do that is because it's nighttime. Nighttime is dangerous, especially if you don't have car doors. You don't want to get into a situation where the zombies pull you out of the vehicle, and then you're really far away from the base, and you're just like, well, crap. That wouldn't be good, so let's just drive right here and just start looting. Looting is not super exciting. I mean, some people disagree. Some people think looting is an absolute blast. I am not one of those people. I actually find looting to be a bit drudge work. But it does level up our wits, and wits is a pretty good skill if it gives us a decent one. And also, because we're in the very beginning of the game, we need pretty much everything. Every single item has value right now, which is why, one of the reasons why looting in the beginning of the game isn't awful. Okay, we got some company in here. We just got a notification that infestations are building, which is annoying. We do need to keep the infestations down, but right now, they're just now starting to generate, so it's okay. This might be where we get our rucksack of medicine.
Bingo.
Yep. And like I said, any knickknacks we find, we need pretty much everything right now. Like this jugs of ethanol, those are useful.
Nobody here but the living.
I'll take this one. And we're bringing the car along just so that we can store stuff. Especially rucksacks.
Move on from here.
Now we can just easily run over to our vehicle. And store that. Now we'll hit this garage, which might have some fuel in it if I remember correctly.
That's not opening.
Let's see, what do we get here? Maybe some chemicals? We need kind of these miscellaneous stuff in order to build a lot of facilities, so... Oh, there's our fuel rucksack, so that's pretty good. And eventually we will move out of this base, so, I mean, looting these areas before we go is also a pretty good idea.
Could be worse.
Soda can bomb, this is something that I could leave behind, because I don't predict myself needing to use a soda can bomb, but for the time being, we'll just grab everything. These short trips also mean that we're barely using any fuel as well. Anyone hear me?
Screamer.
Okay, we got 2 screamers, that's annoying. Okay, so they definitely know I'm here. I know what to do. The Molotov, if I can get the aim just right.
Fire in the hole!
Nope, the hill. Okay, well now it's okay for me to shoot. Okay, let's see who comes to answer the screamers. When a screamer screams, the zombies aren't necessarily automatically going to attack you. They're just going to travel to where they heard the sound. That's all that means. Got some zombies over there. They're back. They're not facing in this direction, though. I think I should be able to get this one without that one noticing. Got it. Okay, so in this case we got pretty fortunate. It looks like only 2 zombies responded to the screamer. That's probably because we're in the very, very beginning of the game. Also, just sometimes you get fortunate. Let's throw everything else in the back as well. Try to keep our inventory clean so we can carry more. Food, building materials. That sounds tasty. Gotta love them building materials. We need a lot of those. It helps to know where building materials are on the map. I think this is okay. I don't see a lot of enemies here. I don't think it matters if I alert a few zombies.
Barrel.
Oh, that's not good. This is where the energy drink's gonna come in handy. Where's my house at? Let's mark the house so I know the direction I should approximately be running towards. So right now I've got essentially infinite stamina. I don't literally have infinite stamina, but I essentially have infinite stamina for a little while.
I've got to slow down.
Zombies are really bad at parkour, so if you need to escape, you parkour. They're also really bad at crossing over things, like so.
Hey, you're gorgeous.
This character's a little beat up though, so we are going to change characters. A little bit of bloater damage caused us to get a penalty. That's why you want, if you see energy drinks, always pick up energy drinks. That's extremely good item. So who has, play as this character? Okay, I want this. I want... I'm not going to bring the ammo. It's basically, I'm in a situation where I don't want to shoot the gun. The gun is basically here as just an emergency. So bringing the ammo, we don't need to. That's the other reason why I do like finding a shotgun early in the game, though. Just very easy way to... Not about very easy, but it is a accessible way to deal with ferals in the beginning of the game. And the fact that I had to abandon the vehicle, because if I got in, they would just pull me out of the vehicle. That is another reason why I didn't want to go too far away. It also means that we didn't jeopardize the vehicle's condition any further by attempting to get away with it. Because if the feral could have chosen, instead of pulling me out, he could have just jumped on the hood and started beating the crap out of the engine. And oh man, let me tell you, it doesn't take a feral very long to go through an engine. And then if he had destroyed the vehicle, that would have been pretty bad. I mean, there was another vehicle nearby, and we do have gasoline, but I would prefer to not have to do that. Getting a lot of parts, that's fine. I don't expect too much from these, like, miscellaneous outdoor areas that we can loot like this. So if we get parts, that's perfectly fine. I'm completely okay with that.
No, I was hoping we'd have more company.
Okay, so hopefully get some building materials. The first thing we're going to do is probably upgrade our storage so that we can actually hold on to things. We need all of that stuff. We need the materials and we need the seeds. There's a lot of inertia in the beginning of the game. Getting started, there's quite a bit of resistance, but once you get things going, it's not too bad. And there's nothing wrong with upgrading the base. Even though this is a temporary base, when we change bases, it's going to refund us all of the resources that we use to build it up, so it's perfectly okay to...
I should be able to find something good in all this.
Yep. There. So it's perfectly okay to build this base up, because we're not losing anything. Actually, the first thing we do, it might not actually be to upgrade the... I think the initial buildings cost 6 materials. Ah, good. Those are some chemicals. We need those. Let me check what the costs are. So, like, yeah, this takes 6 materials. 6 materials. Yeah, we'll be able to build one as soon as we get back, I believe. Someone is intruding upon my salvaging operation. Oh, they must have. So the reason why would the zombie specifically go in here? It must have been reacting to the sound of me looting that in there. So that zombie here is probably going to approach because they hear the sound. So I could go out and just deal with them.
Premises are empty. That's what I like.
Although he might see me if I go out that way. That looks like a screamer. Yep, you can tell by the glow of the eyes.
Why do I think this one would be any different?
Absolutely nothing. Pretty common to get nothing. Maybe we'll get a few books. Books are good. Even if it's a skill that I don't need. If a character dies, I could use it as a redundant backup, but... Ah, there we go. Got an 8-slot backpack, that's good. Because I'm pretty sure one of our characters had a 7. 8 slots are really heavy. I'm not sure why 8-slot backpacks are so heavy. But they are.
I'm not gonna find anything else here.
Okay. So we're done with this area. We need to dump some of this stuff, though, because we want to try to stay out of heavy encumbrance wherever possible. So I'm also going to add that because of just how heavy it is. I'm also going to immediately head back because we got building materials. We want to start getting some things constructed. Each of these rucksacks of materials, they should give us 5 materials each, so each one almost gives me a base facility.
Time to get building. Either a workshop or an infirmary would be a good place to start. All right, things are underway.
Okay, so we got 8. That means I can build any one facility. I guess I'm going to go with the infirmary because we do have people who are injured. The level 1 infirmary does not have what it takes to actually cure our injuries. We have to get to level 2 first. But, the level 2 infirmary also is going to cost quite a bit to upgrade. We won't be able to afford it.
We need a little help.
I'm coming your way, whether you like me or not.
Thanks a bunch.
That looks promising. So that's the quest to obtain the blood plague cure, which is not super important to grab immediately, and that's simply because we don't have blood plague samples, so we can't even do the quest yet. Driving slowly, mainly to, once again, get an idea of how many zombies are approaching. That looks like another screamer. Move away from the vehicle just so I can see who it drew out. Screamers cannot climb over obstacles. Maybe they can climb over really short obstacles, but they can't climb over really big ones. So I know that that screamer is stuck on the opposite side of the fence, unless he takes the long way around to come be nosy. Looks like nighttime is beginning to pass. I can tell because I can see farther away. See that screamer anywhere. I Where are you? Ah, there he is. Once we loot this, I'll go and
Well, it's not much.
put an end to him. Get a quick 5 influence and a little bit of standing. Oh no, don't look over here. So to be honest, you hardly get any standing from killing screamers since they die in one hit. So basically everything, except melee combat. Seeds. We don't need like a ton of seeds, but we'd still need seeds. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna aim at it, and then I'm gonna stop, and then I'm gonna loot it. As you can see, visibility is improving quite a bit. That's how you know day is coming back. Once day comes back, we'll be able to move around a lot more
I
aggressively.
think I just found the perfect
That would be
outpost.
the smart thing to do. Once you get more familiar with the game, you can go pretty much do whatever you want at night. I would still advise an amount of caution, even on Nightmare Zone at night, but in the beginning, I recommend focusing on doing safe things at night. And if you're afraid to go out at night, you will eventually need to get past that. Because if you wait the night out every single time, that will eventually become a humongous waste of time. Is that a screamer or a plague zombie? That's a screamer. Did not hear me, apparently. So let's go around and go get him. It looks like he turned around. Go this way. Zombies can just wind up appearing kind of anywhere they want, which can get really annoying. There sometimes doesn't feel like there's any rhyme or reason to their spawns.
Looks like we got a bloater.
Okay. There's the bloater.
I'm tired.
We're gonna get him to blow himself up. Okay.
And our new construction is done.
It's funny, every zombie has a weakness, and the bloater's weakness, besides being extremely fragile, is clumsiness. I actually like that a lot about bloaters. It gives them a little bit of a personality. Now we're gonna go loot this building. Some people prefer to completely check the house, which I'll demonstrate real quick. I don't really care either
Houses
way.
are
It's not...
empty.
I don't consider it
That's what I like.
essential to completely check the house. I only do it if I'm super suspicious of the house. Otherwise, I'm like, eh. Hoping to find a food rucksack in here. And once day breaks, I believe we'll have time to get... We're going to hit one of the better locations in the game, where I know where there's Gonna be at least probably two rucksacks of materials there. That should be enough to get our initial buildings started. Another crummy soda can bomb. They're not even that good to sell. Oh, I see it. It's out in the front. The other thing I'm kind of hoping from these random homes, like the homes give you some of the most random items. But I was hoping to get a few mods, because there are some decent mods, like a comfy chair wouldn't be bad. Take a little bit of the edge off of our Nightmare Zone morale penalty. So now that we have daytime back, the reason why daytime is so valuable is because it lets you pick your battles. That's another thing. You gotta know which trees you're allowed to drive through and which trees you're not allowed to drive through. Uh-oh. Oh, not quite. Too slow, too slow. Okay, I think we got an armored horde coming in. And of course, they're all going to start screaming, so we'll have a bit of a battle here. Let me lure them in here to get my allies to help a little bit. Take this one. They might be armored, but they still die to rear executions. Or to executions in general. Being armored does not make them immune.
It's dangerous for our base to be this loud.
Okay, I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna take a basic painkiller, like the really simple one.
That's all I got.
I'm gonna dump this stuff off. And we're gonna head back out. I am gonna continue ignoring that quest, though, because, like I said, what it wants is material, or it wants plague samples, and we don't even have one plague sample, so there's really no value to doing it. Hey, we're almost at the cap for our stuff, so let's go ahead and get a workshop next. Alright, so I happen to know that right here is always a good place to get some materials. And now that it's daytime, I can determine, without getting out of my car, if it's safe enough to get out and do exactly that. That's the best thing about daytime. It lets you decide, do I want to get out and do this or not? So, for example, if there was a feral there, I would say I don't want to get out, because that's dangerous. Now, if the area is safe and you get out, that doesn't mean the game can't say, ha, 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 ha. Oh man, let's just spawn a whole ton of enemies here. The game could easily do that. There's nothing stopping the game from doing that. But right now, I'm just going to look around to see how safe it is. It looks decently safe. That's one zombie there. Got a few zombies here. As long as I stay in the vehicle, it's fine. You don't have to get out until you want to get out. Gonna loop around a second time. And we've got plenty of gas, so I'm not really worried about being wasteful on gas. I think this area here is acceptable to get out of. Okay, now we're going to deal with some of the guys who came after me. Also, I want to kill some of these plague zombies to begin collecting the resources needed for for the chance of getting a blood plague sample. We need like 3, I think. Now that she turned around, that's less attractive. I want to avoid getting blood plague infection level. until I actually have the cure. So before we enter into the building, we're going to look around the building real fast. Okay, we got one plague zombie there. Two plague zombies. That's not too surprising. There is a plague art really close by. No samples. Not surprising. The drop rate isn't particularly good without any enhancements. Let's get this one as well. There's another really good place where I know they definitely have materials, but this one is closer by, so I'm going for this one right now. And that's just something that you get to know. You just get to feel the game over the time on it.
Well, it's not much.
Now we can begin looting. This one's got... Okay, we got a plague zombie in there. Got him.
Oh, hey. This should be good.
Still no samples, but we've only killed 3. There are ways to increase the probability of getting samples per kill. You can use a crossbow. You can also use someone who has pathology, which is a medicine advanced skill.
This will slow me down.
Okay, so we already found the fuel tank is something we're going to sell because it's just not something that's super useful to us. It's a mod that expands our total fuel capacity, but that's really not...
No room.
There we go, we got 2 of them right there. Let's mark the car. And head right on over there. A lot of annoying zombies wandering in because they feel like it. Want to put the mod in here as well. Wasn't sure if he'd see me or not. Looks like I was too far away. Gonna continue thinning some of these guys out. Also get a little bit of Wits EXP. Noticed me, that's good. But I noticed him, so that's not good for him. There's our first plague sample. I hear another one. Oh, there it is. Get rid of Mrs. Nosy over here. Okay, I can't remember where that other one was, but we'll find it.
No luck in here.
Nothing in that one, but I mean, let's be real. We found 2 rucksacks in one building. Like that's already really good. An energy drink, very good.
Great progress for our base.
Let's hit the road. We're done here.
Ah, it was in this. Okay, back to the car. I'm pretty sure we need 3 samples. I might be wrong on that. We might only need 1. But it's been a while since I've started a brand new game, so always the chance my memory is a little rusty. This is also what I mean by you don't need the stealth skill. A lot of people swear by the stealth skill, but I think as long as you, I think the regular strength of stealth is perfectly good. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take stealth. I will, oh, got another mod. Got a lot of good stuff from this one. I will still take the stealth skill because it will allow, when you get stealth, one of the things you can do once you've leveled it up is you can fast search without ever getting a search crash, which is like super good. Let's go, my inventory's full, so I'm gonna go ahead and just run this back. But what that means is that stealth is good as kind of a specialty skill, like something that you might have a few guys with, like 1 or 2 guys at the most. But it's not something that you would want to put on every single character. Put that in, because mods are always really heavy. Some mods are like 25 to 50, like, actually most mods are about 25 pounds, but they can get heavy. Get really, really heavy. In fact, my preferred skills for my preferred wit skills are resourcefulness and scouting. Oh, that zombie might see me. Okay. And this guy chose to turn around. If I loot, he's gonna hear it, so I gotta deal with him. Now let's go deal with the other one. Okay, so I now have a penalty to my stamina because I've been using the character too long. That means I'm not gonna be using any. I'm gonna try to use my stamina as little as possible because I don't want to deepen my penalty. Let's find the last item, then we'll head home and we'll call it quits. That'll be the end of this episode. Surviving our first night. Maybe I'll get a fuel. Fuel would be nice.
I'm not gonna find anything else here.
Meds. I'm gonna leave it behind. One medicine is not gonna make or break us, or one painkiller won't make or break us. Can't sprint right now due to our... I mean, we can sprint, but I don't want to sprint. Okay, now we'll mark our home base. And we can get out of here. So what I wanted you to take away from this episode, if you are new to Nightmare Zone, is on your first nights, you do want to be careful. But at the same time, you still want to get stuff done. You can start by looting kind of the nearby areas. And over time, you'll be able to go farther and farther away without worrying of it as much. But until we get this car repaired, that's not really an option for us. Because it is currently too dangerous for that.
I hope that keeps us going for a while.
We can put one more in before we hit capacity. So we are at capacity right now. I could choose a third building. I'm probably going to choose the garden. The garden's a little expensive. Guard tower? Guard tower also a bit expensive. Maybe I'll just choose this to upgrade so we can store more stuff. Yeah, I'll upgrade this so we can store more stuff. Okay, now I will drop the rest of this garbage in there. That'll be the end of that. Change to a different character. Doesn't matter who right now. Oh, it does matter who. It's going to be Abigail, who is the least damaged of everybody. That way I'll remember who to play next time I log in. But yeah, that is going to be that. Nighttime. There's not a lot of benefit to playing at night. You don't get bonus EXP or anything like that. All you do is potentially get yourself killed, but it's just something that you adapt to. Like I said, if you're afraid at night, you do kind of want to get over it over time, but in the beginning, the best thing to do, just loot the nearby areas and just be very careful. And make sure you're using those energy drinks if you find any. Like, if you find energy drinks and your inventory's full, drop something for it. You really need those energy drinks in the event you need to run away. But that's the end of this episode. Hope you learned something. Like this video if it was entertaining. Subscribe for future State of Decay content. Of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.